When my wife and I left the United States way back in 2018, we not only wanted to travel the world, but also wanted to look at various countries where we might want to live someday. Right now we are living in Turkey, but after seeing an increase in articles about people making the move to Italy in recent years, we decided to come visit Italy to find out if it really is a place where we feel like we could live sometime in the future. We wanted to discover the pros and cons for everyday life in Italy, and that's what we're going to share with you now. My name is Ryan, my wife Emily and I are the Snail Travelers. So if you look at the video here, it doesn't look like Italy is very relaxed, right? It looks very busy, very crowded with people, a little chaotic. And although it doesn't look relaxed, to us it feels relaxed. And the people don't seem stressed out compared to America. And this relaxed lifestyle is even more noticeable once out of the commercial zones and into the residential areas. Here in Italy, we have seen more people talking to their neighbors and people spending time with each other outside of work. Italians sure do know how to have fun and especially enjoy the outdoors. Hiking is a very popular activity among many Italians, at least compared to Americans who often prefer to sit indoors for most of the day. Spending time on the water is another way a lot of Italians prefer to be relaxing and enjoying life. When Italians go out to eat, it tends to be a more casual experience, quite often having a meal at an outdoor cafe for an hour or two. And the smaller villages and rural areas are so peaceful and so carefree, I think is a good word to use to describe what I'm trying to say. So come on an extended trip to Italy or even start a new life here, and you'll be stepping into a lifestyle that has the potential to ease your level of stress tremendously. If you haven't heard about the world's 5 blue zones, I will tell you that they are regions of the world where people generally live healthier and longer lives. And one of those 5 zones is here in Italy, specifically the island of Sardinia, but I would argue that really the entire country, even outside of Sardinia, seems to achieve a higher than average level of healthy living. Let me start by talking about the food. You might think that the healthy Italians eat only tomatoes and olives for every meal, but if you looked closely at that chart I flashed up a minute ago, then you saw that whole grains are actually a large part of the Italian diet. And what is the main source of whole grains in Italy? You guessed it, it's pasta. When we buy pasta in the US, it's probably a form of processed food. In Italy, it's common to consume pasta that is made from scratch. We actually took a pasta making class to learn more about this, and wow, did we learn a lot. I don't know if we'll ever actually make our own pasta after taking this class, but I can tell you that we have a new appreciation for the care and love that goes into creating pasta from scratch. So yeah, we ate a lot of pasta here in Italy. I could go on and give you more details about each special meal, but I think you get the point that I'm trying to make. You would think that we gained a lot of weight here in Italy because of all the delicious food, but when I weighed myself when we got home, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. And the produce in Italy seems to have a very rich and bold flavor, which makes it more enjoyable to eat healthy fruits and vegetables. Let's talk cheese next. So much of the cheese in the US is processed, but in Italy, it's easier to find cheese made with more natural ingredients and not mass-produced by machines. But I wouldn't want to live in Parma, Italy, because if I did, I would spend the whole day at one of the cheese factories like you're seeing here, eating Parmesan cheese nonstop all of the time, and all the other great Italian food as well. Something else that I think contributes to the healthy lifestyle in Italy is the higher amount of physical activity people get each day. And finally, the quality of healthcare in Italy is generally very good and also affordable. So if you're looking for a place in the world that provides better opportunities to live a healthy lifestyle, then Italy might very well be just the perfect place. Whether or not you consider the cost of living a pro or a con is going to depend on what you're comparing it to. We have been living in Turkey for the last few years, so to us, Italy seems expensive. But compared to the United States, yeah, prices are generally going to be better here. Now, in Italy, prices hugely depend on location. An apartment like the one you are seeing in this video here on a 1-year lease could rent for about $1,300 in Rome, but as low as $600 or $700 in a smaller city in southern Italy. Overall, if we were living in a mid-sized city such as Bologna, we think our cost of living would be about 80% of what it costs to live at a similar level of comfort in the United States. That would be in the $2,400 to $2,600 range per month for our personal lifestyle, but everyone is different. Check the description below for more details about the cost of living in Italy. The percentage of people who speak English here in Italy is quite low. We were actually a bit surprised by that, considering the fact that Italy is a fairly well-educated and modern society. One thing that does help with communication is the patience of the Italian people. They won't generally get mad or frustrated with you if you are trying to speak Italian but aren't quite getting it all correct. But you will be better off learning Italian if you come to live here. Learning new languages, for me, is quite challenging, which is why I'm rating communication as a con. If you are a citizen of the EU, you can almost just show up in Italy and live here as long as you want, no problems. But for us, because we are American, the immigration process would be more difficult. According to this website you're looking at here, imidaily.com, you need to show an annual income of €31,200 and an additional €6,800 for a spouse, which, yeah, that is a lot of money, but it is less compared to other countries in this area of the world. For us personally, that number is too high right now, but who knows, maybe sometime in the future we could qualify. Let me quickly go through the rest of the categories now, starting with the trains, another pro for Italy here. The trains are fast, efficient, frequent, and not too expensive. The air pollution is a con, with the air being quite unhealthy compared to many of the neighboring countries. The natural beauty of Italy, without a doubt, is one of the best features of the country. There are beautiful lakes and mountain areas in many parts of Italy. And the coastal regions are fabulous, just as great as you imagine them to be. This reason alone, I think, makes me understand why Italy is attractive to so many people wanting to come visit and live here. And if you are a history buff, then you will be in paradise here. You probably already know that Italy is rich in history, so I won't go into too much detail here, other than to say that you could spend a year, 2 years, even more, just exploring and learning about Italy's abundant and fascinating history. And I have to explain something that might not seem obvious at first, but when you come to live in Italy, you are doing more than just learning about history, you are living the history. Just walk down any street in Rome, in Florence, in almost any Italian city, and you are walking down a street that most likely has been the same street that people walked down back in ancient times. The weather here gets a pro rating mainly because there is enough variety to make everyone happy, whether you prefer cold, mild, or hot. Looking at these two cities, Treviso and Siracusa in the winter, you'll be either cold or mild depending on which city you choose. Meanwhile, in the summertime, Treviso is quite mild at around 73 Fahrenheit or 23 Celsius for the high temperature in the summer, while Siracusa can be unbearably hot. And finally, the tourist crowds can be a con. And yes, I know, we are tourists too, but being surrounded by this every day could get irritating. The solution? Skip the main tourist cities and choose a more quiet place where you can experience authentic Italy. So there you have it, and like I said, the relaxed lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle, the food, all contribute to making Italy a terrific place to live, and add in all the other pros that I mentioned in this video, and we think Italy can be the perfect country for someone trying to start a new life in a new place. Hey, hit that subscribe button there so you don't miss our future content. If you're planning a trip to Rome, then you'll find this video helpful. And this playlist has more pro and con videos from other countries around the world. Thanks for traveling with us.